What's up, everybody? It's your boy Andrew L. Case, and you are now tuned into the Middle Initial Podcast. Today is March 10th, 2024, and I'm here with co hosts as usual, Jude A. Jackson and Kevin A. Lewis. Jude, say what's up to the people.
Hey everyone, it's actually been a while for me a little bit, but it's things are going well. No complaints. Been playing Final Fantasy, great game. Love the series. Love Final Fantasy VII. Good stuff. That's all I've been doing.
Yes,
Nothing
You said
Jude
crazy.
you said
definitely
Final
been
Fantasy Seven?
Yeah, the
their
remake.
remake.
So yeah, they did a
Got
remake
it.
of it, not
'Cause I
the
remember the last Final
1997
Fantasy
one.
I played was legitimately like on the PS1, and it was Final
Yeah.
Fantasy 8. So I was gonna be like, how did we go backwards? Got it. Got it.
I just want to know, did they bring back the chocobas for the remake
hmm Yep,
and
they
the
did the
chocobo
whole
breeding and everything
chocobo.
like that?
It's really good.
Okay.
Very engrossed.
I remember playing the demo of Final Fantasy VII and liking it a lot. So
hmm
I never really got into the whole entire game. That's probably the only reason why
hmm
I would probably get back into it was Final Fantasy VII, but I don't have time. That's the only thing. No
It's
time.
time
Kev, what's going
intensive.
on,
Like it's
man?
one of those games.
I'm sorry. Kev, what's going on?
I'm good, man. I don't have anything interesting to add here, so I'm good. Baseball season's in the air. Some stuff going on behind the scenes with that. That's about all I got. Yeah. What's cracking? Father of the Year. What's cracking?
Back to a regular scheduled program as far as like work life. You know what I mean? Add another job to my belt. Um, I did another podcast. I was a guest on someone else's podcast. Very very interesting episode. I think I called Kevin before I started to do it. Um,
Yeah, he did.
yeah, views of it next. So I'll drop that link whenever that comes out.
Mhm.
Um, Other than that, man, just been chilling. Been missing you guys. We're in the Discord. We haven't recorded in a couple of weeks, but we have stuff to
Mhm.
talk about. So it's not like we were missing anything really. Shout out to Kev for dropping
Mhm.
some his thoughts on the Jamal Adams situation in
Your
Seattle,
man's.
him being
Your
officially released.
man's. Jamal
Yeah,
Lamar Adams. That's his name, right?
Jamal Lamar. I thought it was
Or
Jamal Lee.
Levon.
I thought it was
Oh,
Lee.
y'all share the same. Oh yeah, right. You're the middle
Yeah,
of
yeah.
right. My
Right.
bad.
I said it was
My
Lee.
bad.
Yeah, but we'll get into that. We got more stuff to get into. Let's start the show.
You are now tuned in to the Middle Initial Podcast, bitch. Now everybody pod nowadays, but it pays when you listen to Drew, Kevin, Case, and in case you missed it, get your spirits lifted. Man, New York's getting covered just to be specific. When the beast will kick it, you get back. Yeah, listen one time, I promise you come back. No, we switching up a topic, you know that we come pack. And I don't wanna say it, but bitch, we want blacks. In fact, we need that. Cause ain't nobody talk like the boys. It don't matter who you like or employ. We've been the best for a minute. Big brains could've went to MIT, but we like talking shit. Here's the MIP.
Yes, sir. Still the best intro out in the game. Shout out to I am
Mhm.
Thorb for the intro. Definitely a part of the
Mhm.
Underdog Network. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy Network. Um,
Good people over there.
Good people.
Good people. Solid people.
Where, where do we start?
Where do we
NFL
start?
tampering starts tomorrow at what? 12 p.m. It's already, I
Yep.
mean, something already
Mhm.
been going. My
Mhm.
opinion is the media already started tampering already, but a lot is going on. Mike Evans remains a buck. T. Higgins got franchise tagged. Baker re-signed with the Bucks as well.
Mhm.
Rumor has it Kirk Cousins is going to be the new quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons.
Mhm.
Um, that's interesting. Talks about JJ McCarthy possibly being a top 10 pick in this year's draft. There's
Mhm.
a
That's
lot, a
crazy.
lot to talk about. A lot to talk
Mhm.
about. But let's start with the Kirk Cousins um, stuff because it means some implications for Justin Fields and his trade market or
Mhm.
lack thereof. Um, as we all know, the Chicago Bears have the number one overall pick in this year's NFL draft. And rumor has it they're going to draft Caleb Williams.
Mhm.
They do have options. They don't have to draft Caleb Williams, but it looks like 80% right now, closer as we go on 80%, closer to 90%, that's going to happen. I think one of the
Mhm.
guys rooting for him to remain a Chicago Bear is DJ Moore. DJ Moore feels like they should draft Marvin Harrison Jr. instead of a quarterback. That's interesting. But if Kirk Cousins does become an Atlanta Falcon, what does Justin Fields' market look like, especially with the idea of Russell Wilson possibly being a Pittsburgh Steeler? What does Justin Fields' market appear to be? Jude, go ahead.
Well, I mean, just thinking off the top of my head, maybe he'll go to the Vikings somehow. I mean, if Kirk Cousins is going to the Vikings are going to have an open spot. I don't think they have like a particularly great draft pick. So if they're not able to move up, maybe they trade for Justin Fields. I think if Justin Fields is to be moved, it's going to be during the draft. I don't think it's going to happen before the draft. I think it'll happen once teams realize, oh, I can't get that quarterback. The price is too high. Then you start getting deals with the Bears for like maybe a second, third round pick for Justin Fields. But I mean, he should have a relatively sizable market. It won't be like Mac Jones or Zach Wilson. It should be a relatively sizable enough. I think he's shown enough potential that there will be a couple of teams interested in him. I don't know if it's like for a starter, but definitely a lot more for backup.
Well, the two things you brought up the Vikings, and they were the ones. They're one of the teams rumored to possibly trade up into the, I would say, the top 6 to get JJ McCarthy. Which I think they said the rumor will be traded to 5 because in case the Giants are interested, which rumor has it, they may be interested in him as well. And then you also mentioned the Mac Jones thing. Mac Jones was traded today to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a 6-round pick, and a pack of fruit stripe gum. The flavor doesn't last long either, and I don't think Mac Jones' career is going to last any longer. With that being said, Kev, considering all the possible moving pieces going on, where do you see as a viable option for Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears?
I'll start by saying something that probably we could say is a little bit irrational, but I'll put it out there anyway. Drew, both of you guys mentioned the Vikings, and if the Bears are willing to trade Justin Fields, if I'm talking from the perspective of the Vikings GM and organization, if the Bears are willing to trade me Justin Fields, I don't want him. Because if you are willing to trade him within division, that means that man is ass. That's how I take it. Because when the Patriots traded Drew Bledsoe to the Bills, I laughed at the Bills. Because like, what you think they want to help you? Like, they're selling you a lemon. It's quite clear what's going on here. The Eagles traded Donovan McNabb to Washington. It was and given, Washington, they do what they do. It was clear how that was going to end, and it ended exactly how the fuck you thought it was going to end. So to start with that, if the Bears are calling me like, hey, we got this Justin Fields for you, I'm hanging up the phone. I don't want it. If you are trying to give me a quarterback, I don't want it. I'm good. Now, as far as the rest of the trade market, it's probably going to be lower than we think. Simply because it takes NFL teams a while to catch on to certain things, but they do like to ride waves when they do catch on. And like the quarterback who fails at his first location, we could attribute it to whatever we want, why he failed. Going for decent draft capital, it feels like that's kind of going by the boards. We just saw Mac Jones go for a 6. The Jets can't give Zach Wilson away. So it's like, Justin Fields has more ability than both of those guys. Fine. But like the Bears are, I'm just guessing, obviously. The Bears are probably going to have to lower their sights if they want to get him. And it shouldn't surprise anybody if he's in a situation where the next team treats him as competition and or a backup. It shouldn't be surprising if that is the case.
The way I look at it right now, it's the way it's panning out, I should say. Especially if Kirk Cousins goes to the Falcons. I think if that does happen, Kirk Cousins ends up an Atlanta Falcon. I think that just kind of drastically drops Justin Fields' market out there, because you would figure that the Falcons kind of would be like the perfect situation for him, considering their weapons and what they need at quarterback. And you could probably just have him out there for a year, see what works out. The Falcons,
and I think that's sorry to cut you off, but you hit on a key point. I think that's part of the problem as far as his market. Like, you have to pay him basically immediately, and you have to make that decision really soon. So that's part of what the President's market. But carry on. Right.
It could be like the Sam Darnold situation when the Carolina Panthers traded for him, and they traded. I mean, it was a decent return for the Jets as far as that.
I think the Sam Darnold situation exactly why niggas not gonna get nothing for Justin Fields. I think that's exactly why, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not comparing the two directly, but like after watching that one go up in smoke, they're just like, hey man, we not trading that much for these reclamation projects y'all trying to drop on us. That's how I feel.
Right. Right. But I think one team, if they're not going to draft a quarterback and maybe he's crazy enough to do it, it would be Denver and Sean Payton, right? Because Sean Payton hasn't developed a quarterback, right? Drew Brees was what he was when he got there. We all know what Russell Wilson was when he was there. He tried to develop Taysom Hill for some godforsaken reason. If they were in a situation where they're not drafting a quarterback and he feels like he can get a lot out of a Justin Fields, I don't think it would be a bad idea to make that move, considering what their options are, depending on if they're going to trade up or not. But the Broncos are like the Vikings. They're one of those teams that necessarily would have to trade up to get the quarterback they want. And if they don't get a trade up, I think this next best thing would be to get a guy like Justin Fields on a team
who would be a supporting cast though for Denver.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Denver already told us we're willing to eat $85 million and then some to start this whole thing over. Now, who does Sean Payton like to start over? I don't know who he likes to start over.
Yeah.
But if there was a situation to say, all right, we'll trade for Justin, but Justin, you have a 1-year tryout. We pick up your option. I mean, what are his options after what we already mentioned? What are his options if a team like Denver doesn't pick him up, or the
Vegas?
Patriots? Vegas could work if they're interested in trading for a quarterback.
I think Vegas wants to get their own guy.
Okay.
I mean, that's definitely a possibility. But they're also a team that if they're going to get their own guy, especially in the first round,
they're picking where, like sixth?
No, where's Vegas picking this year?
They finished around the same record. They finished like in that 5.
No, because they're not top 5 for sure. They might be 7th or 8th.
No, I think 6th of the Giants. Sorry,
6th of the Giants. 6th of the Giants. I think Vegas like 7th or 8th. They might be. May even be 9th. They may even be 9th. I'm not too sure. But again, and they could be a team that says, "Hey, Michael Penix Jr. is right there. He's going to fall." They may take a flyer on him and take him earlier than people are projecting him to go. So bro, to be honest with you, I don't know what
Oakland's 13th. I don't know.
13th, yeah.
Oakland's 13th. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, they could take a flyer, and I mean, even though Mac Jones trade doesn't set the market, I feel like the Sam Darnold 2 picks may be enough to get Justin.
I think that shit was I think it was the last of the Mohicans. That same trade.
I mean, it was a 3rd and a 6th, right?
It was a 2nd and a 5th.
2nd and a 5th.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen that again.
Right. I think you might see a 2nd round equivalent, maybe 2/3, a 3rd and a future 3rd.
Honestly, if somebody was willing to give that, I think it would have been done already. Personally,
yeah,
I think somebody's willing to give that. I think it would have been done. Now, obviously, it goes once the free agent market is clear because we don't know what people think about Kirk or Russ, whatever. Once the free agent market is settled, obviously we'll have a better idea. But like for a guy that young who has shown at a minimum that he's an elite runner, if people wanted to give up the 2/3 or a 3rd or 4th, whatever, I think it would have been done already. So like I think the Bears are just like, all right, we'll just wait because we don't have any reason to trade him right this fucking moment, and then we'll see where it goes from here. Because Kirk and Russ might sign and the shit might flip. You never fucking know. But yeah,
right. And I think the sooner that happens, the sooner we'll have an idea of what this market will be and which team. I mean, but there's a lot of quarterback hungry teams out there that could take Fields and say, all right, we take a flyer, maybe we'll be a starter. I mean, we talk about this ad nauseum all the time. If a quarterback is good, he's not walking away in free agency. He's not getting traded. That's just a fact. That's how the market is. If the quarterback is good, he's not getting traded. He's not walking away in free agency. So, not saying Justin Fields isn't good, but he's not that good, right? Now, is there potential to say, well, the Bears, like if you compare it to Zach Wilson and you were to say which situation was better and who deserves a shot, I mean, this argument you could make for Fields, and I don't know if you're out on a limb crazy, you can make an argument for Zach Wilson. But
So don't talk about Dan like that. Don't talk about Dan. I'll defend Mr. Lobaz. Don't talk about him like that.
I will say that, I think if we see a trade for Justin Fields, it's going to be between the Vikings, Broncos, and Raiders because they're picking right after each other. Vikings are 11th, Broncos are 12th.
If the Vikings trade for Justin Fields, they're even dumber than I think they are. I'm so serious when I say that. And I have nothing to do with the player.
They made the Herschel Walker trade, didn't they? So, I mean, it's possible.
I forgot who I was talking to. Never mind. Never mind. I forgot what podcast I'm on for a second. So I was about to react.
The Herschel Walker trade.
I was about to react.
But no, those teams, Jude, out of all the teams you just mentioned, the Vikings have one big thing, one big hurdle. And if this is true, Justin Jefferson is going to have some say or some input if they do, go for anybody else other Kirk Cousins. He's not going anywhere because they're going to pay him the most money. He's supposed to be $30 million. But people have this idea that, if Kirk Cousins is signed, Justin Jefferson is going to be unhappy. He's going to request a trade and go somewhere else. I mean,
I never got the sense he was unhappy. I mean, maybe I just wasn't watching closely enough, but it's like...
No, that's what they've been saying, that he wants... They've been saying that he wants Kirk Cousins back, and he doesn't. That's the whole conversation. I think it's a leverage thing more than anything. But if there is something, he's going to have some input at least, because it's a start over. He doesn't want to start over, and it's your starting. You're pretty much essentially starting over. Would you want to start over with Justin Fields? Would you want to start over with a rookie quarterback? I mean, your options aren't that many. That's what I'm saying. Like, the quarterback market being what it is.
There's an elite quarterback that's available right now. They should go get that person for Justin Jefferson.
I don't like where this is going.
They should go get that person.
We know where it's going, so you might as well just go there. The Denver Broncos have decided to eat $85 million in dead cap to let Russell Wilson go in free agency. Wherever you want to take it, the Denver Broncos situation didn't work out. It was crazy when the trade happened. We definitely discussed who won and who lost the trade. I guess at that point in time, you kind of felt like Denver won, but low key, because I don't really remember where I stood at it. But I think me and Kev had agreed, like, low key, this could work out for Seattle more than it works for Denver. The only thing Denver had in its favor at that time was they had an elite defense, which turns out they don't, because as soon as he got there with Hackett and everything like that, the whole shit fell apart. Sean Payton comes in the next year talking cash shit, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. We discussed that ad nauseum as well. Slow start to the season, especially the big blowout loss. What was it, 72-10 or something like that?
Whatever, 68, whatever the fuck it was.
Whatever the fuck that was. They managed to reel off about 5 wins in a row, made it interesting, and then all of a sudden, Sean Payton said, "Yeah, we're done." Now, we do know the business of that was financial.
You know what the crazy thing is? Sorry for interrupting, but the crazy thing is when you say it's all of a sudden, that's just when it was leaked out. They had this discussion in October, and Russell Wilson still decided to play for the Broncos. Like, that discussion happened in October, and it's like,
I wonder why they had that discussion.
Well, I mean, it was financial. It's clearly a financial thing.
Why did they have a financial discussion about it then?
What do you mean? Why did they have a financial discussion?
Because he ain't good. Let's cut to the chase. He ain't good. That's why he's not good. That's why. That's why they $85 million to cut him. Yeah, he's Commons and the Broncos, who saw him every damn day. Them too. The Broncos saw him every damn day. Was willing to eat $85 million to get him out of their life. With no plan. With no plan. To you. That's not the reason. If Russell Wilson was playing at a high level, would they cut him? If Russell Wilson was playing at a high level, would they cut him?
Hold on,
they took $85 million and it wasn't performance based.
Was the conversation about him not playing and the financial implications was had in October, right? Because
it was had in October.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, the injury.
Why was there financial ramification conversation going on at that point?
Wait. But Russell said he's going to play anyway, correct?
Sure.
Yeah, he decided he's going to
Mhm.
play.
And in spite of the fact that they didn't want him to play, they won 5 games in a row, and they were right back in the thick of the playoffs, right? And after one
Sure,
loss,
back.
and after one loss, they said, "Hank, sit down." What part of that had anything to do with performance?
It was the injury guarantee too. I think they had
Do you think if Russell Wilson's performance was up to snuff and up to everything they paid for him, that we would be having any conversations about financial ramifications whatsoever?
I don't think it matters.
Why doesn't it matter? If the performance was there, we wouldn't be talking about this, Andrew.
Because the timing of the conversation, right, and their record at whatever time, right?
We keep talking about the timing of the conversation, ignoring why the conversation is happening. Why was the conversation happening? Why?
Is it a new coach? Is it a new coach? Is it a new coach?
Yes.
Did the new coach not come in before everything and said the whole thing's a mess?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
and
you know what's part of the mess?
Part of the contract, right?
Russell Wilson's contract is part of the mess because he's not good. It's not hard. It's not complicated.
The contract was a problem because the contract was a problem. That's
the contract. No. We're not. No. We're not going to do this. Nope. If Russell Wilson was playing like he was playing in 2018, we're not having this conversation. Nobody gives a fuck how much he makes at that point. The problem is he's not good. That's the problem.
Was the contract ridiculous when he first signed it, or was it ridiculous a year and a half later?
The contract was ridiculous when he first signed it, right, Juke? Because they gave him that contract without him playing a fucking snap for them. Yes, you're right.
Juke said it. Yes, it was ridiculous then. Right. We pointed out how ridiculous it was then, right? Hold on. They bring in Hackett to be the coach, and we all know what type of coach Hackett is. Right?
Sure.
Sean Payton comes in and says, this whole thing's a mess. And then sometime in October, you should sit down and save us $39 million. Which part of that has to do with performance?
If Russell Wilson was good, why would they be sitting him down to save money, Andrew? Why?
How could he perform to any degree with the coach he had the prior season?
Can I say something?
He sucked last year too. He sucked last year too. He sucked the last 2 fucking years. What are we talking about? He sucked last year too.
If I recall correctly, there was also injury guarantees in his contract as well. That if he got injured during that time,
that was the sticking point.
Then he would have to get get paid for it next year as well.
And guess who wouldn't give a fuck about injury guarantees if his performance was up to snuff? The Denver Broncos. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. They wouldn't care.
No, because they wanted Sean Payton wants to run his operation the way he sees fit. That's why they're clearing house with everybody. Because if it was just Russell Wilson, why are we getting rid of the safety? Why are we getting rid of the wide receivers? Why are we switching the whole thing and turning the house upside down?
Wait. Why are we?
Is this only a Russell Wilson thing? Is this only a Russell Wilson thing?
Why are we getting rid of players on a not good team? Is what you're asking me right now?
Oh wait. Is this only a Russell Wilson thing?
I'm just asking. I'm
asking you. Is this only a Russell Wilson thing? Is he the only person that's getting mysteriously let go?
No,
he's the one that's getting paid the most.
He's just the one getting paid the most, but they're cleaning house. So you're telling me that if, let's say, he wasn't getting paid that much, they would have kept him?
Bro, they're taking an $85 million dead cap hit to fucking cut him. They might as well rebuild the shit. There's nothing left for them.
And the Cleveland Browns would have took a cap hit if it wasn't $200 million to a dead cap hit, but they're stuck with Deshaun Watson, aren't they? Because his contract is so egregious.
And guess what? If the Browns decided to cut ties with Deshaun Watson, it would be about fucking performance. The same reason. What are we talking about? You just said quarterbacks don't get cut, and what was it? Quarterbacks don't get cut. Good quarterbacks don't get cut.
They don't get traded.
And they don't get traded, right?
Yes.
Okay, so he got cut, and he took an $85 million hit to do it. He ain't good.
The Denver Broncos traded the farm for Russell Wilson, and
2 years ago, yes, correct,
and paid an astronomical amount.
Correct.
That everybody looked at like, what is Denver doing?
Correct.
That they thought they were bringing a Peyton Manning situation. We have the top defense, and this quarterback will come in and write the offense. The problem was they brought in a dickhead for a coach. That was problem number one. Problem number two.
Russell Wilson. I want to say something about
I can't
Hackett right
believe
quick.
this, bro.
With Russell Wilson, I'm almost certain that Russell Wilson was their second choice too. They were trying to get Aaron Rodgers, and that's why they hired Hackett. And then when the Rodgers wouldn't come over there, they were like, "Oh shit, gotta go to Russell Wilson." Now, why did they pivot and give him that stupid contract? That's another story, but he wasn't even.
I just don't like they had no incentive to give him the deal. Like that was what made it stupid.
None.
Not even the contract term. They had no
So-
incentive to give it. Who were they bidding against? Like you just traded for him. You didn't have to do this. That was the problem.
Exactly. So the organization, from an organizational standpoint, Denver is stupid from that standpoint. But Russell Wilson improved from his first year to the second year in Denver.
Oh,
with his
so
coach.
from dog
But
shit
the
to
coach-
slightly smelly dog shit.
but the
Slightly
coach-
less smelly
but the-
dog shit, right?
But the coach, the same coach who on the sideline last year, heading into the week before he got benched, was berating him and lambasting him for God knows what reason. It's clear and present that Sean Payton doesn't like him
I wonder why.
because he wants it
wonder why.
his own way. It was his own way.
The guy
He wants it his own way.
if he was performing, why would he care? You don't want to
He
answer
was
that
performing.
question.
He was
Huh?
performing.
Performing what? Performing what? Blowjobs? What was he performing? What was he performing? What was he performing? Performing what? Doing what? He was not performing well. That's
he had
not that's a
3,000
fact.
yards, 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
He was not performing well.
I mean, that's
He's
not
not,
exactly
yeah, he
great
performed better
over
than he did
17.
the last year when he was
I mean,
quite arguably the worst
Going
quarterback in
from,
the
six,
sport.
going from
Great.
16 touchdowns in an offense with a coach who doesn't know what he's doing to get to 25 touchdowns with a coach who doesn't like you and wants to start over. I mean, it
It's
sounds like
everybody's fault, but
it's that. What
this
fault?
is amazing.
Hold on,
This is
you're
fucking
acting like Russell Wilson fell off completely and didn't know how to play quarterback.
I didn't say
That's-
that. I said he's not good.
So what do you-
I didn't say he fell off completely. He's not
You're
good.
wrong.
He objectively
wrong.
isn't. He hasn't been for 2 years.
You're
you
wrong.
blame everybody else
You're
because of
wrong.
you thing. That's what you want to do.
Blaming everybody else. I'm stating what happened. Am I not stating what's going on in Denver?
You are ignoring the fact that his performance is also a part of the problem. You have ignored
How
this
was
for 3 weeks.
How was his performance a part of the problem if after the big blowout loss, the team bounced back and with like 6-3 since
Bro,
that
he
loss?
wasn't good for 2 years, Andrew. For 2 years straight. We watched it.
How did he win five?
He wasn't good for 2 years. What do you
How
mean
did
that
they
he
win
was a
5
part of the
straight?
fucking problem?
How did they win 5 straight?
Their defense got better,
Their
significantly
defense
better.
got considerably better for one. Fine.
and
And
Wilson-
Russ played at
and-
an average level for 5 weeks. Congratulations. That does not fucking count attribute to the rest of the goddamn year. Or the year before that when he was ass. He's
The
been
year
ass
before
for 2
that,
fucking
we
years.
always talked about the year before that. That was set up to fail.
We don't have
The
to.
year-
He was
Russell-
bad last year too. We don't have to
So
talk about
Russell
the year
Wilson
before
this
that.
year-
He was bad last
sorry,
year too. Go
Russell
ahead.
Wilson
No,
this year, he averaged 200 yards per game over his 15 games, 1.7 touchdowns per game.
21st
I mean,
in
those-
QBR, 21st in yards per attempt. He wasn't good.
Those are-
like the
yeah,
Broncos
those are
were
basic
22nd in
counting
points
stats,
scored.
but
He
he
wasn't
wasn't
fucking
great.
good, bro.
They
wasn't
weren't
good.
trying. They weren't trying to make him look good. What would it? How many attempts? They were like
Yo,
dead
are you
last in
Russell Wilson's
attempts.
agent? Like, is that the new job that you've been telling us about? Like, are you Russell Wilson's agent?
Where was
Are you
Denver
his
Broncos-
publicist?
Where was Denver ranked in pass attempts? Or
Who
they
gives
ranked
a
in
fuck
pass
where they were
attempts?
ranked in pass attempts?
What do you
Who
mean?
cares?
Wait, hold on.
Who cares?
It means a lot. It means a lot because
He was 20. He was 21st in yards per attempt.
If your
Nobody gives a
team
fuck
is
about his attempts.
always playing from behind,
Oh my
you would have more pass attempts, correct? But
What is
they
your-
weren't. They
what
were.
is- what is-
I'm
what
asking you a
is-
question. What was the game
Bro,
plan?
it depends on the
Russell
fucking
Wilson and Denver?
coach. It depends on the coach. It quite literally depends
We
on the
talking
coach.
about, we talking about one coach, Sean Payton. What was the game plan?
Sure.
What was the game
you,
plan?
you tell me.
To run the ball.
You tell me. Great.
Who runs
And
the ball?
I gave you 2 stats that have nothing to fucking do with how often he throws the ball. What's your point?
Of course, he has 212 yards per game. He's not throwing
I
the ball.
didn't mention yards. Why are you talking to me? To tell
I'm
me
just-
that
Again, you're
21st
here.
yards per attempt.
You're-
That stinks. He
you're-
was 21st
you're
QBR.
here.
That stinks.
You're here.
They were 22nd in
talking
points
about-
scored. That stinks too.
You're here talking about somebody who had his hands tied in the offense with a coach who didn't want him there.
But this is what I mean.
What do you
This is
want
what I
to do?
mean.
Full script and throw 60 passes a game? What are you talking about? Go ahead, make
It's,
sense.
again, it's always somebody else's fault.
Again, make
It's always
sense.
somebody else's fault.
You're trying
It's
to
always somebody else's fault.
You're trying to convince me that
Sean
Russell
Payton saw that
Wilson
man
is
in training
decline.
camp. He saw that man in September. He saw that man in October. He said, "This ain't it." He saw him
Payton,
every day.
Sean Payton came in, and the first thing he said was Hackett fucked up the whole thing. That's the first thing he said. He had nothing to say about Russell Wilson.
And then once he started to see Russell Wilson, he realized this ain't it. You are ignoring this for whatever the fuck your reasons are, because it's everybody else's fault. He decided it's not over. It's Hackett's fault. It's Sean Payton's fault. It's the Water Boy's fault. It's the groundskeeper's fault.
It wasn't
It's Carmelo Anthony's fault. It's Jokic's fault.
It wasn't
everybody else's fault but Russ, somehow.
It wasn't Hackett's fault? Hackett didn't do anything. Hackett didn't contribute to that?
Again, he sucked the next year without Hackett.
Yeah.
He was better the next year.
He sucked.
He was better
I don't give a fuck how much better he was. He threw the ball. He threw the ball less.
He sucked. He threw the ball less. He threw the
according to damn near every relevant statistic.
Following year.
What are we talking about?
The ball less in a system that didn't work.
Again. I gave you multiple stats that have nothing to do with pass attempts. Again, for the fourth fucking time.
Again, you're ignoring the simple fact that a team that always plays from behind was almost dead last in pass attempts. How's that possible,
bro?
Kev?
I gave you what the yards per attempt in QBR are.
You're not answering the question. You're not answering the question.
I gave it to
you. You're not answering. You're not
because I gave you stats that have nothing to do with how often they pass or run the ball, bro.
When a team plays from behind, shouldn't they have more pass attempts? When they play from behind,
theoretically,
yeah.
How is it possible?
That doesn't always go that way.
Okay, so how?
It doesn't.
How is it possible? Because you're not answering the question. That they were where they ranked in pass attempts, 27th in pass attempts. Were they ranked in rushing attempts? 18 in rushing attempts. How? If you're always playing from behind. How?
I mean, 18th in rushing attempts is not even some super high clip.
27th in defense. 27th, right?
Mm-hmm. The whole team stunk. What do you want me to tell you? What do you want me to tell you?
30th against a run. How are you 27th in passing attempts? That means you're always playing from behind. Always playing from behind. Am I missing something? Am I missing something?
I don't even understand what point you're trying to make.
What am I missing?
Okay, so they're supposed to pass more. Okay, what's the point? Where are we getting to?
Sean Payton did not like Russell Wilson. We know that.
And we keep ignoring why.
They did not want Russell Wilson to get who. I don't give a fuck.
Do you think
why?
Because you think Sean Payton has asked to grind?
Your reason why is you said you saw him. Your reason why is you saw him play, and he doesn't want. He saw Taysom Hill and made him a starter. And makes him play him. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? He saw more in Taysom Hill than he saw Russell Wilson. I'm asking you a question.
What is your
he saw? Hold on. Did he not sit there and try to make Taysom Hill a starting quarterback in the NFL?
Sure. Yeah, he's a weird guy like that.
He did.
So you mean to tell me Sean Payton is on and all his genius sees Taysom Hill, sees Russell Wilson, and says I could do more with Taysom Hill than I could do with Russell Wilson?
Taysom Hill's also considerably younger. Russell Wilson.
I don't know what the decision about Taysom Hill has to do with Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson's 35
and told you exactly what he thought of him. You could disagree with him if you want.
Listen, you literally said he saw him every day. He also saw Taysom Hill every day.
That's NFL coaches do bizarre shit. What's your point? I understand that.
That's who you're placing your faith in.
You are laying on the train tracks for a guy who sucked dick the last 2 fucking years.
Kev,
that's what you're doing.
That's who you're placing your faith in.
I watched the games too. I watched the games and he stunk. What is your point?
Taysom Hill was an NFL quarterback. That's the person who thought Taysom was an NFL quarterback. That's who you're telling me you're placing your faith in.
I'm not placing my faith in shit, but
just say.
I'm not placing faith in shit.
Your point was.
I'm telling you exactly why he got released, and you're doing the runaround.
What did you say?
And you're doing mental gymnastics. That he saw Russell Wilson every day. He made that decision.
So the same person who saw Taysom Hill and thought he was an NFL quarterback, you're trusting his evaluation. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Sean Payton also made Drew Brees a Hall of Famer. So what are we talking? Sean Payton made Drew Brees a Hall of Famer. Did he not?
Did we not? Did we not?
Did he not? Yes or no? Did he not?
Did we or not say in the beginning?
Did he not make Drew Brees a Hall of Famer?
Did we not say Drew Brees was already good and Sean Payton hasn't developed a quarterback?
I said he made him a Hall of Famer. That's what I said.
Did I not say
Drew Brees got replaced? in
that
San Diego,
Drew
right?
Brees,
Drew Brees got replaced in San Diego. We're not doing this shit. We're not doing this shit. He got replaced in San Diego.
Did I not say in the beginning? The first thing I said.
Oh my goodness.
Sean Payton hasn't developed a quarterback. He didn't develop Drew Brees at quarterback. Did I not say that?
How do we figure he didn't develop Drew Brees?
The only quarterback he tried to develop was Taysom Hill. We saw that win. Do we trust?
He made Taysom Hill a gadget player.
So we're saying we're not supposed to trust.
Do we trust
Sean Payton's evaluation skills?
Payton's evaluation at the quarterback position.
I don't know what you want me to tell you.
Yeah,
because you are committed to laying on the train tracks for a guy who hasn't been good in 2 years. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, is Sean Payton right? Hey, time will tell.
He hasn't. He wasn't good the first year in Denver. He was better. He was better last year.
Nobody is cutting a good quarterback with an $85 million cap hit attached to them. That's fucking insane. They cut him because he stinks, or they think he stinks. They think he's ass. That's why they cut him.
Organizations make bad decisions. We already acknowledge that the Broncos made one decision that we questioned already.
Sure.
Then we questioned the amount of money.
And then after 2 years of shit play, they decided to cut ties.
And the length of time that they offered them, $200 million. I was the first one to suggest. Yeah. Hold on. I was the first one to say in the group chat with DJ, Russell Wilson's going to get cut. What did you say?
That they wouldn't cut somebody with that big a cap hit. Right. I said that.
Okay. Right. And I said, what did I say? I don't think Denver likes him. They're really trying to get rid of him. They wait until they get a new coach who comes in and makes an evaluation. In spite of whatever, Russell Wilson plays decent football, and they told him to sit down because of the injury guarantee. They don't want to pay him the $39 million he was owed. So if someone has a team in the thick of a playoff race and can possibly play his team into the playoffs, but all you care about is the additional money and you bench him, it doesn't sound like somebody was in a favorable situation. I mean, am I making this up or this is not all factually happening?
You're ignoring why we're here. You've been doing this for 20 minutes now. You're ignoring why we're here.
You're creating something that didn't happen. I'm telling you what's actually happening.
What am I creating that didn't happen? They cut someone an $85 million cap.
Sean Payton saw him and said, I've seen enough.
Why else would they take an $85 million cap hit when Sean Payton coached the team? Why?
When they traded Russell Wilson, if I remember correctly, he still had his years on the Seattle deal and everything. I believe this year was the first year the new deal was supposed to start. So pretty much they used these past 2 years in the evaluation period. He clearly did not play well. Even when he played decent, that's among his worst in his career in several stats. And they decided to get rid of him.
He cost $85. Nobody's taking $85 million cap hit to get rid of a good quarterback. Nobody.
Drew, they did not have to pay him. They decided to pay him.
We're making people.
Wait, we're also saying that we also said Jerry Jeudy stinks. We said that already. We acknowledged that from before. Jerry Jeudy is not playing. Jerry Jeudy, he's not playing up to his snuff. Right? He got traded to the Browns. We saw their all-pro safety done. Cortland Sutton will be done. They're cleaning house. Yes. And for some reason, we feel like a team cleaning house. If he was good, he would still be there. They don't matter. They don't care. They're cleaning house. He wasn't bad.
Took an $85 million. Oh my! Yeah. You know what? All right.
If you're taking $85 million cap hit, what else are
you literally just said good quarterbacks don't get traded or cut. You literally just said that.
Good quarterbacks don't get traded or cut. But Denver is a dickhead organization as the past 2 seasons. I mean, there's an exception to every rule.
The past 2 seasons.
According to you. I gave you the first season.
My bad. The numbers don't matter for us. Sorry, it's everybody else's fault.
I gave you the first season. I said
last year too. I don't know what to tell you.
That's your opinion.
I don't know what the fuck.
That's your opinion.
The numbers bear it out. Watch them play. He played like Diet Alex Smith all year.
The team was not set up for him to succeed. Simple. It was set up for him to succeed.
Yes, it's never Russell's fault. There's no decline in this play.
It's not. No.
It's never Russell's fault, right? That's what we're doing. That's what we've been doing for 3 weeks.
Again, you're saying things I haven't said. You're saying a bunch of things.
Bro, every time I say his performance stunk, you bring up everything
He'll be fine
else.
Wherever he goes.
What other conclusion am I supposed to draw, Andrew?
He was better last season than he was in the first season.
He stunk,
even though they weren't trying to play ball.
He was better. Bro, I'm not interested. He was better, bro.
we already listen.
I feel like
we already know.
I feel like we're committed to this
having
topic.
stale milk
opinion.
that's 3 days old instead of 2 days old is still having stale milk. I don't
He
give a
wants
fuck, bro.
Kev wants people to commit to his thought process because he ignores everything else because my said this, but everything else that's said,
I'm the one who ignores other people's thought processes.
Is there, but he ignores that part. I have to look. I have to, bro. I have to look at his stats and everything. Hold on. I have to look at his stats and everything, right? And say, I agree with you, Kev. But I say, well, everything else.
You don't have to agree with
me.
You don't have to agree with me.
No, because
you don't have to. I'm not asking you to.
You are pointing out his stats. Am I saying to you that his stats were amazing? I said, no, he was better than the first year. I'm asking you, were things not falling apart around him? Did they set him up for success? Yes or no? If you say yes, then we can move on because it's a fucking lie. So the answer is no. So what are we talking about?
Can I also say something? Two things can be true. The Denver Broncos can be a bad organization, which they have been since their Super Bowl run. And Russell Wilson can also be a bad quarterback. Those two things are true.
I don't understand what's so hard about this. I really don't.
I think the Broncos set themselves up for a bad situation. They paid him a contract they didn't have to pay him.
Yes.
And because of that, and they have a new coach that they just paid a lot of money. Yeah. They just paid Sean Payton a lot of money. Mm-hmm. I think he has some say so. And if Sean Payton has some say so, they're trying to chase a ring, and he says, well, Russell ain't it, they're going to acquiesce to the dude they just paid. And they feel like that's smart enough.
There's a lot of reason to say that Russell isn't it.
We'll see what Denver is. We'll see what Denver is in the years to come. Because Sean Payton won that one Super Bowl and didn't do shit.
I mean, they just took an $85 million cap hit. They're probably going to suck. That's not a secret here. They're probably going to fucking stink. Like, they took an $85 million cap hit to get rid of a dude who isn't good. They're probably going to suck.
Russell be fine, and he'll have a better record wherever he goes than Sean Payton will. Moving on.
Wow. Going out on a limb there, Bucko. Wow.
I don't got to go on a limb. I don't have to go on a limb.
Going out on a limb. He's going to have a better record than the Broncos in 2024
Yeah, absolutely.
Good for you.
He's going to play better.
Sure.
He's going to play better on a better team that suits his talent.
I mean, shit, he might.
Yeah.
He might. But acting like he just got cut for nefarious reasons is insane. But okay, man, go off.
They asked him to sit. That's not nefarious.
Why did they ask? We're not going to do this run around again. Just
to save money.
We're not going to do
to save money that they just paid to the coach who hasn't won shit.
Saving money if he was fucking good, Andrew.
To save money to one from the coach who haven't won shit.
Bro, this is not the Discord. We have a podcast to do. We'll go to the next topic. It's not the fucking Discord.
No, it's my podcast. How about that? I can do what the fuck I want. How about that?
We've been doing this for 30 minutes. Nothing.
How about that? How about this? I mute your mic and I talk about how long the fuck I want to talk. How about that?
Damn.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's cut mics off and I'll talk however long I want to fucking talk, and we keep going. Moving on?
Can I talk about the free agency?
Moving on. Let's go. Move on.
It's insane.
Can I talk about the free agency stuff?
Go ahead.
I feel.
Move on.
Sure, man.
Okay. So with the Jets free agency, I feel like, and I've been talking about this in the Discord. I talked about it on Twitter. Every year, pretty much, with the exception of 2015, the Jets media has done a remarkable job of priming people to accept less in free agency. Because what happens?
Specifically who? Can we specifically say who? Or you're not going to go on a limb and say
we're not going to go on a limb and say that, but it's a general thing. It's not just that one guy. It's several other people that do this every year. It's several other people that do this every year. Pretty much.
It's not just that one guy. It's crazy. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
It's several people that do this every year. They will go on their sites and be like, hey, the Jets don't plan to spend. They have a price, and they'll set their figure right at that price. And if someone wants to overpay, so be it. They have a process. They have a plan. They're doing all of that stuff. And then five days later, you're seeing them justify them signing, I don't know, Kendrick Bourne, a guy like Kendrick Bourne, and being like, yeah, this is a great signing. This is the signing Joe Douglas was looking for, or Mike McCarthy, or whoever the fuck. So I just want to tell fans, please be prepared for that. A lot of people already are. They know what's going on. Prepare for the media blitz. It's going to happen because that's what the Jets do. Underwhelm expectations. That is my take.
The Jets are like a bad father around Christmas.
Damn. Sheesh, I was not expecting that.
A lot of promises. Yeah. A lot of promises. Give me your list, kids. Give me your list, kids. What do you want? PS5. What else? Flat screen. What else? All right. And he comes back with a fucking ColecoVision and like a bike he bought from a homeless man off the street. That's what the Jets organization has been doing for the past few years. We watch the team. We watch transactions go down across the league, and we wonder why not us, right? Why can't we get this guy for a third round pick or a fifth round or sixth round? And it feels like the frustration is, oh, maybe we're not trying. I don't know why that part happens, right? But for the most part, it feels like these guys, maybe the teams, maybe the players aren't interested, and it may cost us more to get them. But we spent all last season talking about, well, Mike Evans is going to be a free agent. T. Higgins is going to be a free agent. We tried for Devontae at the trade deadline. We're going to try again. We'll get Devontae Adams. We spent a lot all season wishing and hoping and having this wish list. What we got? A ColecoVision and a bike that they bought from down the street. Because right now what's looking like is Calvin Ridley, who people either don't want because they feel like it may cost them too much, or for the fact that the Jets weren't even rumored to be in on the Calvin Ridley thing as of today.
I mean, they were when he was traded. So I mean, nothing has really changed, to be fair. But they were when he was traded for whatever that is worth. But yeah, go ahead.
This time around, I said the Patriots, Atlanta, and was it Patriots, Atlanta, and Jaguar? I think that's what I saw, whatever. And the Patriots heating up. I don't know, but after him, after all the top tier wishing and Calvin Ridley, then we're Gabe Davis, we're at MVS. We're at Tyler Boyd. Like we're not even at tier B. We're at tier C now. I don't know what to say about the Jets as far as that's concerned. But as far as the media thing is concerned, go ahead. Yeah.
I have one more thing to say. You tapped perfect with the media because I was about to say, certain media member writes an article about Joe Douglas's philosophy and everything. And some of the things he says are hilarious in hindsight. One, he believes the best plan for the Jets is to keep growing those who are here, not bring cast-offs from another franchise. Keep in mind, Bryce Huff's about to be let go. Undrafted free agent, 10 sacks, about to be let go. Another thing, he's hell-bent in his belief that the right way to build the Jets is the way that he's building the Jets. So I'm going to use an example. I'm stubborn in many aspects. Sometimes dating is one of them. Some things I do with dating, they might not work over and over. The Joe Douglas is 27 wins. 27 wins. 20 of them came from Mike McCagney's year. And what world is 27 wins good? That's the right way to be building your team.
Wait. I know you are not getting mad at somebody else for repeating the same shit that doesn't work. That cannot be what the fuck I just heard. My ears are clearly failing me. You are pointing the finger at somebody else for a repetitive process that does not work. Okay.
Sometimes you have to experience it to be in that.
Either way, I think there's a level of nuance here in general that's kind of lost because people are just sick of the Jets losing. And let me just say this. I'm having impatience for this is perfectly normal. I'm not here to say nobody's wrong. Cool. I'm just here to give my perspective. Having impatience saying, oh, fuck Joe Douglas. Hey man, you're not going to get much of an argument from me. Okay? All right. Now, the process of free agency, I feel like all of the worst deals happen in the first 48 hours. So, and the thing that's kind of problematic for me as far as how it's being talked about or whatever, it's like, who are we looking at that you guys would be so offended on missing out on? Like, fine, Tyron Smith is there. Sure, he would be a good signing. He also isn't durable, right? Okay. Calvin Ridley is there. Calvin Ridley, I like Calvin Ridley. I like route technicians. He was considerably worse last year than he was when he played last for the Falcons. Now, again, he was removed from football. I want to give him that grace. Now, he was removed from football for a very, very stupid fucking reason, and he might not be unreliable all to fucking together. I think all of that is fair, and it sums up Calvin Ridley. You don't want to pay Calvin Ridley like he's a god? Who am I to tell you otherwise? I think that's a perfectly reasonable conclusion to draw. Now, I also differ with people on the wide receiver conundrum. I don't think they need somebody that's great opposite Garrett Wilson. You need somebody who get the fuck open. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know the ins and outs of every wide receiver out there. All I'm saying is you can get a number 2 wide receiver who is relatively cost controlled. And you don't have to break bank for it. Offensive line is a different topic. I'm not going to pretend like I'm versed on the top of the offensive line market. They paid Laken Tomlinson 2 years ago. We saw that worked out. I think the idea of just being like, all right, I'm not going to sit here and go after the first wave of free agents. That's where all the bad decisions happen. It's perfectly reasonable. If you fucking fail to identify the rest, number 1, and your drafts are not good enough, number 2, and you draft the worst quarterback of all time, number 3, you end up here. Where you can't make no fucking playoff runs. You can't do shit because the quarterback you drafted is a dud. Your offensive everything stinks. Like I'll go outside of 17 and 20. Your offensive infrastructure stinks. The coach stinks. The head coach doesn't have a fucking clue. You end up here. So the free agency shit, you want to say it's a problem? Okay. I think it's far down the list of problems at best. And I think a lot of it is a non-starter at worst. The real problem isn't he doesn't want to just throw money at people. Most of the good GMs don't. The problem is the motherfuckers he does pay ain't it. That's the problem. That's to me.
That's the problem. That's the thing that's been bothering me about the Jets for so long is that they'll go like, oh, we don't want to throw the bag at first day of free agency, and then they'll turn around and sound like Trumaine Johnson and the corpse of Matt Forte.
Whoa. Mike McCagnon was a throw the bag on the first day specialist. That's all Mike McCagnon ever did.
But Matt Forte was also good here, though.
You said what now?
Forte was good here. I said Matt Forte was good.
Oh, yeah, Forte was fine. But like Trumaine Johnson, there are others. Yeah, to be fair, Mike threw a wild bag at CJ Mosley that aged well. Give the credit where it's to that aged well. He threw a wild bag there, aged well. Sometimes it will. Like sometimes you're gonna throw a wild bag at somebody that will age well. I'm not here to act like every single signing on the first day is a bad one. All I'm saying is a lot of signings you see applauded the first day end up being asked. A lot of them. And we just don't talk about it because, well, we don't remember them. Because the first day is coming and it goes.
I'll say this much to your point, Kev. The fact of the matter is the Jets aren't even going to be they're not in the room for the first day signings. That's just what it is. I had insinuated from before, like, look, once Mike Evans was gone, I was like, we're about to be in the bargain bin in free agent wide receivers. Now, that's the thing. That's the thing I'm looking at. I'm not looking at the first day of us throwing money. It is the fact that a lot of the guys that we want are usually gone before. It's like there's no shot. Maybe
okay, but then that's not. They're sorry to cut you off, but like if the case is a lot of the guys are gone anyway, then why is Joe Douglas's approach a problem?
Well, that's the thing. We're reaching the part where somewhere along the line of Joe Douglas being this guy who knows how to draft, and that's being his background and scouting department, he made questionable decisions in certain drafts, like the first draft where we were like, all right, there's 3 wide receivers out there, there's Ruggs, there's Lamb, and there's JD.
And Wirfs.
And well, Tristan Wirfs, I wasn't looking at Tristan Wirfs, we'll say that because I was looking at wide receivers. Yeah. But we know wide receiver there, he goes tackle. He doesn't pick the tackle, he doesn't pick Wirfs, he picks Becton. Now, Becton blows up combine, and it's like, all right, whoa, wait, maybe, change your heart. Plays in his first season, 14 games was good, and then everything falls apart, right? Then you go last year, maybe we stick wide receiver last year. Well, we go edge. You know what I mean? And people are like, what was that? And it's like, oh, well, you know what? We could never have too much edge help. But then to your point, Jude, you let a guy who you developed go a whole season, don't extend him in Bryce Huff, and then he's going to walk because he's like, 1, I'm not taking a discount, and 2, for those who don't know, he would prefer to go to a tax-free destination like Florida or Texas, wherever else don't have state income tax. So my problem with Douglas is I think sometimes he leaned a little bit too much on maybe what the coaching staff wanted or what idea he had. Because I remember when he first said,
I think we're driving closer to the problem, the real problem. I think we're driving closer. We're near the destination. We're near the house. We're almost
right.
The Jets can't fucking self-evaluate. That is the biggest problem. Does that start with the GM? Is the GM part of it? Yes. He ain't on the field every day. Like, yes, he ain't on the field every day. The coaches are, And
Mm-hmm.
buddy, the way people defend the Jets coaching staff is outrageous. Like, yes, they built a great defense, good for them. I'm not here to knock that part of it, brother. The Jets started Lawrence Cager over Garrett Wilson twice, did they not?
Yes,
Is that not a thing
I
that
remember.
happened?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a thing that happened, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's just one of the many. Like Bryce Huff didn't get enough snaps for years, really. And like when he showed, he was good. He never really got enough snaps, and that went on for a couple of years.
And
they just don't. They don't self-evaluate well. They don't.
And that's the insane thing too.
No, I'm saying I think he got more snaps last year than he did this year. Or the year before, I think he had like 55 or something like that.
Because I want to say like it started. I want to say 22 was the first year he got regular snaps, and then it went. And then I don't know if he had more snaps or whatever, but he made the most of whatever snaps he did.
It went down this year. Yeah, it went
down.
Like
21, he wasn't getting shit. So 22,
and like the thing is, it's like when the Jets rarely develop players of this caliber and extend them, and it's always disappointing to see. It's especially more disappointing when it's like an undrafted free agent. I think they did this on a much lesser extent with Chosen Anderson, I should say. A lot lesser extent with Chosen Anderson as well, but it's still disappointing to see. And like the thing about having too many edge rushers is that, signing Will McDonald, drafted Will McDonald, in the vacuum, you can kind of get it, but it's just like, if you drafted Will McDonald to replace Bryce Huff and you barely see enough of Will McDonald, then it's like, what's going on? It's like, if you want to replace, like the thing is, if I have to go on a little soapbox, if you want to, my issue is not so much with getting rid of Bryce Huff, so to speak. I would prefer to keep him. But okay, fine. You don't want to pay him for whatever. You don't believe in the snap count. You don't believe he'll do better with more snap counts. Okay. That's when you decide to put him on a trade block, or that's when you decide to put a tag on him. You don't just let him hit free agency. That's the thing. That's where they feel that it's just completely.
But they can't hit the tag because the tag is going to be too expensive. They would be stuck with paying him for a year, and people don't want to trade for him. I think the problem was the first thing. I don't know where this idea came from that Will McDonald's his replacement. And I think a lot of fans started putting that in the ether. I don't think that was the actual thing. Because if it's
he's going to be part of the crew that replaces him. I don't think he's going to be just the 1-for-1 replacement, but he's going to be part of the crew.
But I mean, if we're looking how things panning out, I think Zach had said Rosenblatt, whatever he had said. He was saying that it's possible that John Franklin Myers might get cut. So if he's and Joe Douglas did. We just paid him and restructured him already. So it's either going to be another restructure where they just pay him up bonus money, or they're going to end up cutting him. But Joe Douglas did say there are going to be some key players not coming back next season, and the only side of the ball that has a lot of key players that you can lose, or I guess I'm going to say afford to lose, is on the defensive side of the ball. So you're going to be down Lawson, who didn't play anyway. You're going to be down Huff, who was your best situational guy. That leaves you with McDonald, and that leaves you with JJ at the edge. People are saying Clemens has been playing edge. He's kind of been going in and out. Same thing with JFM. He's been going in and out. So your rotation goes from looking pretty okay to question mark. What's the rotation going to be? Now you're hoping that your second year guy that you didn't play enough in the first year can, accept the added responsibility, unless you plan on going out there and getting another edge for cheap, which is also possible.
There are some consequences of this too that I was thinking about as well. So a lot of people, it's fair to assume Jets will have a decent defense at least. But the thing is that many people, if there's bad things that happen, it's just injury luck, because they've had unusually good injury luck on the defensive side of the ball for the last 2 years. I don't think anyone's missed more than like 2 to 3 games at most. But here's the issue: is that when you're getting rid of a pass rusher like Bryce Huff, and you want to have late leads late in the game, it's the Jets defense has been relatively above average for most of this drought, so to speak. Like there were a couple of really bad years, but for the most part, they were like passable enough. But you know what happened? They didn't have someone to close out. There was no edge rushers, so they would get all day long on these close situations. And it's like, if Will McDonald can't live up to Bryce Huff, that's what's going to happen this year, and it's going to cost some games that could have been won for a better edge rusher.
All right.
That's the thing.
All
it's
right.
like,
all right.
Oh no. Oh no.
All right. It's gonna cost them games. We're being
no.
The whole Bryce Huff thing is just all right.
Oh no.
He's a homegrown talent. I understand how fans feel about that in general. He's an edge rusher. I damn sure understand how Jets fans feel about that in general. The asset was mismanaged, and that's probably the worst part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce Huff, and I'm not saying anybody on the show said this, so please don't jump down my throat. Bryce Huff is not Lawrence Taylor, bro. Like, we could just admit that he's good. He is good. He's really good. Is he hard to replace? Yes. Is he irreplaceable? No. Are the Jets going to lose multiple games because Bryce Huff is not on the team? No, they're not. The Jets have earned the benefit of the doubt in one category in the Saleh era. They figure out how to get a pass rush. Doesn't matter where it's from. They've generally figured it out. They've done this for 2 years now. They've earned.
Yes, I'm about to
Saleh's
say
been here for
past
3.
2 seasons.
Saleh's been there for 3.
Mm-hmm.
Saleh's been there for 3. They've earned the
4.
benefit of the doubt. They will get some rotational defensive ends, maybe 1, maybe 2, and then we'll see if they end up correct. I feel like the mismanagement of the situation has led people to say some shit that's just too fucking far. Because Bryce Huff is not Myles Garrett. We could do this. He's not. He's not. Like, I've been reading this shit for weeks, and it's like, I get it. Y'all mad he's leaving. And I get why. It's just the reaction is just way too fucking dramatic. It's at least at a minimum, let the shit happen first. Like, if the Jets come out next year and they rank 14th in defense, fucking fry Joe Douglas for all I give a fuck. I don't care. Can it happen first before the doomsday shit over Bryce Huff? Please. And this is not me saying he's not good. It's not me saying he's not hard to replace. Go ahead.
I get the fans' irritation with this whole situation because it was fixable. It was fixable before it got out of hand. And I think that's the main problem. It's like, why did you let this drag on until now? Because you didn't have to. You could have extended him. Now, I don't know what he wanted back then, but I know no number he could have brought it with his agent would have been justifiable. I know at that point in time, his numbers, there was no justifiable number. You'd be basically saying you're paying him for potential. The fact of the matter is, it's not the 10 sacks. Bryce Huff advanced metrics, his pressure stats, getting to the quarterback, was up there with the elites. So if we're saying that this sample size is enough to say, hey, we can pay him and see what he's like 60% of the time, 70% of the time. You know what I mean? The team might be willing to make that risk. Now, the fact that our edge rushers, like our last few edge rushers who were good, and I'll name them, Muhammad Wilkerson, Sean Ellis.
Lineman, no?
Wilkerson was.
He played both. He played both.
Yeah. Sean Ellis and John Abraham. If you want to split hairs, it's John Abraham and that's it. Everybody else was like, because like you said, Muhammad Wilkerson was kind of right. So I think in that vein, I could definitely understand, because I'm one of those people who said we haven't had an edge since John Abraham. Like we haven't had a dude who's just tearing up to John Abraham. So I'm not saying Huff is John Abraham because he's not. God, hell no, he's not John Abraham. But the thought of somebody potentially being really good, going to another team and maybe getting 12 and a half, 13 sacks the following season, you could have it for cheap, would piss a lot of people off. I don't think it's going to happen, but
you know what I mean?
I also want to say,
go ahead, Jude.
I also want to say the reason why you notice a lot of deals dragging on longer than it should be, it could be the GM, but guess what? It's also Woody Johnson too for a decent amount of these deals. The one constant is that every player has had a deal that's dragged on much longer than it should be, and you run a risk that you lose a lot of leverage when that happens. And that's happened more than once under Woody Johnson.
Listen, as I said, like, having problems with how this has gone, perfectly fine. Will the Jets defense be fine? Probably, most likely. They still have a ton of talent. They have good defensive coaching. I mean, great for them. But like, the biggest problem, and the biggest problem in general, is that the Jets are not proactive with regards to anything. I mean, and Woody's the dumbest man walking earth, because I mean, Woody opened his mouth like 3 weeks ago to say, "Oh, we didn't have a backup quarterback last year, motherfucker. He was the same guy y'all had." Like, this is not Zach Wilson was a capable backup, but then he got hurt. No, this wasn't that, brother. You knew what he was last year. You didn't want to pay another guy because cheap, whatever the reason was. Whatever the reason was, you didn't want to pay another guy. Meanwhile, you have a 40-year-old quarterback. Whatever, you don't want to pay another guy. Your man's got hurt. That we had to, and I mean, y'all. I didn't watch the whole season. Y'all had to sit there and watch this man for 14 weeks or whatever it was. God bless. But yeah, the Jets are not proactive. They are very reactive with regard to everything. And then when you are perpetually in need of a quarterback, it looks even worse. Because at least if you have a good quarterback, an average quarterback, average to above average quarterback can be a deodorant, can cover up some stink. You got Zach Wilson on top of the stink. It's just more stink. It's problematic.
It's just stinky.
It's just stink.
I
It's
will
just
also,
bad stink.
I will,
Stank,
I will also
if you
say a general free agent strategy that I've been talking about in the Discord, much to Kev's chagrin, is that with Aaron Rodgers, listen to him just a little bit less. Just a couple bit less.
No. See, no. See, this is what I mean. This is why you piss me off. You want to do the diplomatic dandy bullshit. No. That's not what we're gonna do. No. Tell the people what you actually said about this topic. And if you don't, I swear I will start pulling up screenshots and putting them in the show. As a matter of fact, I have half a mind to do that anyway. But go ahead. What did you really say?
You shouldn't listen to Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Don't get Aaron Rodgers' friends. No Aaron Rodgers friends.
And who is Aaron Rodgers' friend that you specifically mentioned by name?
I mentioned Devontae Adams.
Okay, so you said, and this is a quote, ladies and gentlemen. Next time I'll be sure to be armed with the actual picture. This is a quote in the Discord. Aaron Rodgers should if Devontae Adams was available, the Jets should not pursue him because he is Aaron Rodgers' friend, and they should take back power from Aaron Rodgers. Correct? Is that not what you said?
Yes, I did say that.
Okay,
yes,
so here's the thing about the whole taking power back from Aaron Rodgers. Does Aaron Rodgers have too much power? One could argue that he does. Cool. Yes. Not here to argue against that. Okay, cool. The people you want to get the power back are the people you've been calling for their ouster for 3 years. So, get the power back to do what? Get the power back to do what?
You just have to restore a little bit of credibility. Just
to do what? No. The Jets don't have cred. That's not what we're gonna do. The Jets don't have credibility because the Jets have stunk for 14 years largely. Correct? They don't have credibility.
Yes, you're
You're not getting credibility back by telling Aaron Rodgers to go stuff it somewhere. You're not getting credit for that. Or credibility, excuse me, for that. So you want them to get their power back to do what? There's a reason Aaron Rodgers has powers because the Jets are run by dingbats. That's why Aaron Rodgers has power in the first place. You tell me that they're run by dingbats every 2 seconds because you hate every single thing about the team that you root for and you whine about them 24/7. So I just want to know what we're restoring here.
Well, it starts with a little bit at a time. It doesn't come back instantly. But you say, hey, Rodgers.
The way y'all are Euro stepping questions today, it's insane. It starts. No. I'm asking you plainly.
Okay.
Why do you want the power to go back to people you want fired? I'm asking you as plainly in English as I can. Why?
It allowed them to make a decision with a clearer head. Instead of thinking about Rod, they can make more decisions with a clear.
They made plenty of clear-minded decisions before he got there. Where did that lead them? The pick to take Zach Wilson was clear-minded as fuck. Where did that land them? Where did it land them? If you want them fired, and you've been telling me this relentlessly for 3 years that you want them fired, I don't know why you give a fuck if Aaron Rodgers has power outside of the fact that you have a personal axe to grind with Aaron Rodgers and have had one for like 6 years now. You could correct me at any point I'm wrong here.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of Aaron Rodgers.
Correct. And that's why you say goofball shit about him every single fucking day. Correct?
Sure, yes.
Because you realize how insane it sounds to be like, yeah, I'm turning my nose up at Devontae Adams because he used to be employed by the same people that Rodgers was employed by. You realize how fucking ridiculous that sounds?
It sounds ridiculous, but there could very well be other receivers out there that can help the offense that aren't just Rodgers back.
Are any of them as good as Devontae? Yes or no?
No, they are not. No.
Okay. Do you want a wide receiver who has rapport with your quarterback? Is that ideal? Yes or no?
It is ideal, but that can happen in training camp.
Why wait when they have fucking 10 years or whatever it was together? They already have built-in rapport. That solves a problem off rip.
Fair enough. But hold on. All I'm just saying is you just have to. With Rodgers, it's just more. You don't want everything to revolve around him, and that's what I fear is happening right now. Is that everything's starting to revolve
What
around
is
him.
the alternative that would satisfy you? What's the alternative?
The alternative is to be like, "Hey, Rodgers, we're going to do this. Do you have any input?
You
We'll
quite literally
consider
don't
it."
know if they do that or not. By the way, you quite literally don't.
That is fair.
You don't
After
know.
last offseason,
But if Rodgers has input, and let's say Rodgers is fucking pulling strings, let's say it's his show. Again, the guy he is in effect replacing the guy you want fired. Why would you care? You want him fired. If he has less to do now because Rodgers is in here taking over, what's the problem? Or is this just a symptom of the bigger issue here? You live to complain. Number one. And number two, Aaron Rodgers is just a vehicle of extreme dislike for you. Again, stop me when I'm wrong.
So I mean, look, if the Jets did good things, I'd be very happy they do good things. As for Aaron Rodgers, I mean, yes, I'm not a huge fan of him. I do find him somewhat arrogant. This was before he went crazy these past few years, but I do find him somewhat arrogant. So yes, I'm not exactly a huge fan of him, but he's good at football when he plays. When he doesn't play, I don't like him. Hopefully, I can just focus on him when he plays, and hopefully he does well. And I'm hoping that
it's so
the decision
personal
making
for
is more
you, Aaron
balanced.
Rodgers, that you have been like doing mental gymnastics to convince yourself that signing Derek Carr is a better alternative. That's how personal it is for you. I'm not telling nobody to not dislike athletes. We all have people who rub us the wrong way for whatever the fuck the reasons are. Like, obviously, how you talk about it is a separate entity altogether, right? I dislike Derek Carr heavily. You don't see me saying no stupid ass shit about him though. Like I don't have to make sure. I don't have to say, well, Zach Wilson is actually better than Derek Carr. Like I don't have to. Like his resume speaks for itself. It's right there. How he acts speaks for itself. It's right there.
So if Derek Carr, I want to say right quick, the issue with Derek Carr, and the reason I wanted him signed after looking at this season as a whole, was not because of the fact that he's better than Rodgers. I wouldn't be so insane as to say he's better than Rodgers. What Derek Carr doesn't have is influence. No one's going to be like, "Hey, Derek Carr."
He doesn't have influence because he's not good, Drew.
Exactly.
So why would you want to sign a guy? Why would you want? You claim it's another Jude quote, another one. It's all about what happens in between the lines. That's a quote unquote. Jude Armand Jackson, correct? Is that not a quote?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. If it's all about what happens in between the field, there's between the lines. There's zero fucking argument that signing Derek Carr, who A, stinks, B, didn't even make the playoffs last year in the worst division known to man, and C, is publicly beefing with teammates, or one teammate, ex-teammate, about to be ex-teammate in particular. There's no fucking argument that Derek Carr was a better signing. You just don't like the fact that Aaron Rodgers embarrasses your favorite football team in public every week. That's what you don't like, and you just don't like him in general. So now you have to force yourself into mental gymnastics to say the dumbest fucking shit imaginable to back up your dislike of this man that you've had for now 7 years.
Hey, look, all I will say about Derek Carr, and then we'll move on, is that with Derek Carr, he's bringing himself. He's not bringing any bad players. He's just bringing himself. And he stinks.
He is a bad player. He's bringing himself. That's the problem. That's the problem. He's bringing him. He doesn't have any power. Yeah, because he's bad, bro. He doesn't have any power. He ain't got no juice. Why he ain't got no juice? He ain't got no juice between the lines. That's why.
Exactly.
So why the fuck would you want him then? Why?
It would accelerate
he might get the coaches fired. Why? So would he could hire other people? Oh, but that's gonna go well.
This is
eventually he'll get it right. Eventually he might get it right. I don't know.
This has been a Discord heavy conversation. This is Discord conversations that come to the podcast. Yes, and I don't want to hear Jude talking circles about his nonsense anymore with Carr because it makes
bro. Talking circles? You?
Oh
yes, me. Yes, me.
After this conversation earlier?
Let's get active.
I stand on mine. You don't stand on yours.
That's true.
Oh wow!
For better or worse,
I stand on mine.
Many times worse. Case will dig his hole and he will sit there.
I stand on mine.
Better or worse, that is true.
My success rate is 90% in comparison to you.
We're not gonna.
Comparison to you.
This is that shit is what we're not gonna do. I will give you credit for
My
giving
success
your
rate
opinions with
It's
conviction.
90%. And I would argue anybody to go back and take any take and look and say I was wrong. I will give you a whole episode.
This man is
I
on
give
dick
you a
drugs,
whole
but okay.
episode to go back and say, Case is wrong about that. I haven't heard that
Brother,
yet in this quarter otherwise.
I'm a 36-year-old man who does 2 shows. You think I have fucking time to be looking back in the archives?
Oh, listen.
I don't have time for that shit, nor do I care enough to do it.
As much time as you take to dismantle anything I say, you haven't said I was wrong yet. After the fact, all I'm saying,
Juge
all I'm
Grooves.
saying.
Yeah, let's hit it. Juge
90% success rate.
Juge Grooves. That's it.
No, Jews don't deserve it. The Jews don't deserve no grooves right now.
Wow, we're not grooving today.
We're always grooving.
It's the moment you've all been waiting for. Pull up a seat and get off your feet for Jude's Grooves.
I control whether the grooves are here or not. You know that, man. Come on.
Wow. So I guess we're grooving today. So let's get on with it. It's been a while. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Moving slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Moving slow motion for me. Ugh, I like it like that. She working that back. I don't know how to act. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Moving slow motion for me. I like it like that. She's working that back. I don't know how to act. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Moving slow motion for me. I'm a dick thrower. Her neck and her back hurting. Cutthroater. Have you like a brand new virgin. It's like once you get used to it, then you start serving. Hop up on
Jude,
top
hold
and
on.
start.
Hold on. For the first time in Jews Groove history. Brick it. What's that first line? Bring that back.
I'm a dick thrower. Her neck and her back hurting. That's literally what he's saying.
I just had to bring it back to you, bro.
Good call. Good call.
Hop up on top and start jicky jerking, whatever the fuck that is. Slow down for me. You're moving too fast. My fingers keep slipping. I'm trying to grip that ass. Keep being hard-headed, and I'm gonna make you get off me. Got human enough disguise, but my face is a doggy. Okay. If you're loving my bark, let me bury my bone. I got 4 or 5 bad married bitches at home. One of my bitches fell in love with that outside dick. That outside dick keep them hoes sick. Like, ugh, I like it like that. She's working that back. I don't know how to act. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Moving slow motion for me. Ugh, I like it like that. She working that back. I don't know how to act. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Moving slow motion for me. It's like I got the world in my palms. Your girl up under my arms. She fucked up from the charm. She loved the way the dicks stay hard from 12 till early in the morn. Okay. Fine, listening. You heard me. I'm strong. If you're going through your cycle, I ain't whiffing. I'm gone. Okay. You must have heard about them hoes that beat up in my home. Wow. Okay. They wasn't telling the truth, baby. You know they was wrong. Now make it official. Wind up some of that dome. I don't mind blind blue. You're riding too. What the fuck is... Okay. Don't be asking nigga questions about where I'm driving you. Little mama, my shit together. I ain't jiving you. I don't think that nigga could do you better than I could. Do you know? It's Juvenile from across the street by the Derby. Same nigga used to be running with Rusty and Kirby. Can a player from the Nolia get a chance with it? But I can't bounce with you without using my hands with it. I like how that Victoria's Secret sit in that ass. Let me pour some more hype and Hennessy in your glass. Will it be violating if I grab me a handful? I'm knowing what's happening. All I want is a sample. Who you with? I'm in the rental today. It's going down and happening, and I remember the way. Less money we spend on bullshit, the more for the weed. What's going to take you to come down in slow motion with me? Like, okay, interesting.
What are your thoughts, June?
When he says don't mind buying blue, you're writing too. Like, is this like in reference to like blue waffle or something? Because I'm kind of
What? What?
I'm
Why would it be?
I'm kind of confused. Like, what is he buying that's blue? Oh, unless he's talking about Viagra. Why is he talking about? But he just said he could stay hard from 12 until early in the morning. So, what else is blue? Is it like code for Viagra?
Why was your first guess blue waffle though?
I don't know what else is he talking about.
Who buys blue waffle? Like what?
I don't know. Maybe he has a fetish. I don't fucking know. Some people are weird like that. I don't know.
A fetish for a made up STD. That's what you're saying.
Some people are rapping about getting the clap and burning and all that stuff. So who the fuck knows? And then he's hopping on top and starts he's saying jicky jicky jerker. What the fuck is that? I've never heard jicky jicky. What is that?
I'm sorry, Juvenile. I'm sorry, Cash Money. I'm sorry, Magnolia Projects. I'm sorry. We do not mean this in any harm or negative light. These are our favorite songs that we love.
You said blue waffle.
I'm sorry.
We just trying to put Jude on the hip hop, and for some reason,
oh my stomach.
Shout out to Jude, who finally got a Tiny Desk concert last year. It was pretty dope. God. Oh man, blue waffle. Well,
I would like to take 1 second before we get out of here to throw it back to my favorite Jude Cruz moment, and I don't think it'll ever be topped. Was when we were doing "Suck It or Not." And he's like, "I'm not in that situation. What if you're getting going? Do you want it to be hot?"
Oh my god!
Oh my!
The hot sauce line got him.
Oh my god! All right, I don't have no more to add. I'm fresh out of shit.
Well, what a way to close this episode out. As you can tell, we haven't spoke to each other live in a long time, so we had a lot to get off our chest. Shout out to our sponsor, dazzlecool2.com. I mentioned earlier. Shop dazzlecool2.com and use promo code MRPod69 to get 10% off. And you too could be as cool as I do, or look as cool as I do. Shop dazzlecool2.com.
I wasn't looking at the screen. Can we run the first one back, please?
dazzlecool2.com.
Why are you looking
code
up
MRPod69.
You should not have known this after the cruise.
Get 10% off. Also use also check out our other sponsor, W Energy Drink. Be better. W is a Agilist Energy blend. Happy 3-year anniversary, W. Many more. Hopefully, I get my new shaker and sample pack that I actually shipped to the Bronx. I'm sorry, actually shipped to the Bronx. I'm burping for some reason. I know why. I just ate a lot. W. Make sure you follow me at 8Cakes Online. Follow the program MRPod69 on Instagram and on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it. TikTok. I don't know how long TikTok's going to be here. We're talking about the Congress, talking about shutting it down, but if they don't, and we're still around, middle_initial_pod on TikTok. Make sure you follow Kevin Lewis at KLEW24 and listen to the only 2 teams that matter with Coley Mick on the Underground Fantasy Network.
Underdog,
of course,
bro?
Follow Jude Truth. That's Underground, right?
You said Underground, bro. It's Underdog.
My bad. Underground. I was thinking Black History Month was last month, and still I got Tubman on my mind. So follow Jude.
Wow.
Follow Jude Truth at Jude Truth. That's it. I have nothing else to say. we're doing a lot of different things. MLB Black Diamond may take a little bit while to get off the ground. We won't get into detail why, but yeah, that's about it. We'll see you guys next time. Stay inspired by 69. Peace.